kind of denial.
Drug dealers have become extremely sophisticated.
Heroin dealers deliver now to suburban homes. I mean, heroin is everywhere, and it's cheap.
Make the transaction, and I hop right back on the highway.
We just live in a complicated society. We don't want to know that there is a problem.
You get a real warm sensation. It kind of feels like pins and needles.
People are literally dying for help, and we're not giving them the help they need.
Unless there is intervention, the number of deaths are going to spike.
We've uncovered something. In the past 6 years, the number of heroin-related deaths has gone up by about 4,000%, and it's happening in a cluster of Atlanta's wealthy suburbs. That fact is hiding in state and county records. Here's how we found it. We requested the number of heroin-related deaths from 4 different counties. When we added up the totals from 2010 to 2016, we discovered an almost 4,000% jump. We know that there's a serious heroin problem that no one's talking about. Do we know where?
It's kind of like a triangle just north of Atlanta, and it stretches from Marietta up to Alpharetta and down to Johns Creek. A little bit of Sandy Springs and Dunwoody, kind of stretches through parts of Fulton and Cobb County, and this is where we're seeing the biggest uptick in suburban heroin drug use.
At this point, officials didn't want to go on the record and say there's a heroin problem. So we went to schools, and while they were willing to talk about drug use, they didn't have specific information about heroin. But there was one group who was willing to tell everything they knew, and that was a group of moms.
My son Davis was an amazing young man.
Congratulations to the senior class of 2011.
He was junior class president, senior class president, editor of his high school yearbook, and he got involved in heroin.
This is my son Zach. Scored almost 2,100 on his SATs. An athlete. He played musical instruments. There's nothing like this. There's nothing like losing your child. There's nothing that even touches it. It's, you don't get better.
In some of the last conversations that I had with Taylor, she asked me for one thing, that I could never give her. She asked me to please understand her, and I could never understand. I kept saying, you know, just stop.
In the past 2 years, I've had 8 friends die from overdoses. Zach Vernex, Shelby Darrington, Kiana Mahdi. We had used painkillers before towards the end of high school. And then once the painkillers got too expensive, about 6 months later, we started using heroin. I'm tired of losing friends. I really am. It's terrible to see your friends die.
Breaking the cycle has been extremely difficult. The level of dysfunction and the amount of using, and you know, it's taken over his life.
Well, I was like 16 years old, you know, and I smoked it for the first time. The opportunity was there, you know, had I chosen to go to an Ivy League school or something like that, you know, like I could have done it. I didn't sit around as a kid and think, you know, like I want to grow up and be a junkie. I mean, I've ruined my life because of it, you know, like, I mean, I guess it sounds cliche, you know, like I lost the girl in my dreams because of it. I've lost my kid because of it, like, my family. I feel like I could be a really successful person. I mean, I grew up with, you know, a good family. There's no significant amount of clean time that I can seem to get, you know. It was definitely my escape, and now it's kind of like a chore.
Please stop. We love you.
Hey.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's depressing. It's very sad.
Sad?
Yeah.
You found more than you thought you would.
Well, yeah. There might be connections to a very high-profile person that we've covered extensively.
Next. This is so big, but it's almost like no one knows it.
They come to your door now.
How the drug is delivered door to door.
You text your heroin dealer, and they come and they put the heroin under the mat, take the $20, and they're on their way, and you get your heroin.
And the triangle that connects the dead.
Somebody overdoses, everybody wants to go and get that.
The police and the medical community, there's a step that's missing. People are dying.